I don't even want to. I don't even want to look at that price. So I'm like, okay, I figured that.
So what is the other offer for?
Same 200K. That's the lead that you had
The
brought in.
couple,
You
yeah,
and
yeah.
Travis. Yeah. So I spoke with Lindita and her husband Dree. I can't remember his name.
If you talk,
But yeah, they were at or below 200K, and that's what was a verbal. So he's like, let me draft us something. I'll get back to you in a couple days.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll
So
talk about it. Nice.
yeah.
We got to celebrate. Sherry got a closing though. Since the last time I seen her, at least.
Yeah. Yeah. I did see that. Congrats, Sherry.
So I did. Thank you very much. It was exciting to get one closed.
Nice.
Good stuff. That was the detail shop, right?
It was, yep. A lot
Yeah.
of people are
That's good
interested,
stuff.
and I love the story with it too, because this young kid started when he was like 16, built a mobile detailing business, built out a warehouse, and then he started another business with a friend for window washing, and that just really took off more and pays better. So he's like, I want to sell this, and now a dad, his son just graduated from college, so he was buying it to help his son kind of get this off and become his family business. So pretty cool.
Yeah, that's good stuff. I love that.
Melissa, you win for the best background, by the way.
What?
You win for the best background.
Oh,
It's authentic, it's real.
yeah,
So
I'm a book person, so I have boxes and bookcases.
nice, nice. I'm on two books myself right now. It's which is always I'm studying Dragon Tactics, and then the Life Investor, which I was one I was telling you about, Travis, by Justin Donald.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, phenomenal, phenomenal book. But yeah, this one we'll be talking about today, and this one is more about once you sell these businesses, what do you do with it, type of thing. So anyway, Travis, should we get in there, man?
Yeah, let's dive in, man. Let's dive in.
Okay, let's
You want
see
me to
it.
start us off?
Yes, kick us off on the teams and all that good stuff.
Yeah, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys jumping in on Tuesday. We're trying to think of I think that we've talked about this for a long time as far as just this, Fridays is kind of a little rough because people are starting to start their weekend, and gets kind of one of those times that we knew we were gonna have to switch eventually. And so here we are. So I appreciate you guys joining us, and hopefully we can get us some more people going on this time and day. I mean, it's very important. But one thing we want to talk about is, and I know I talked to Sherry a little bit about it. And Ryan, you're already on a team. So all this is going to be, and Sherry and Melissa, you guys are basically a team here. So we are really investing in the team aspect of it. We've created, and we've been working on this for a long time, so it's nothing new, but new in presenting that we're figuring out how to really leverage teams as much as possible and really create leaders in those teams and create structure. And so I want to walk you guys through, I think, our team structure of how that's going to look. You think that's cool to walk them through kind of what I showed you, Corey?
Yeah, I think it'd be a good idea to get their feedback and all that
Yep.
stuff. I mean, one thing that we're noticing is there's a lot from a company standpoint. There's a strategic play to instead of going broker to broker or to real estate agent to real estate agent, we're really seeing kind of like Sherry and Melissa, where you guys came from. We go to a brokerage and then we're signing up a lot of people in one shot. But there's one component. Two, the second component is, we each talk individually through our teams all the time. And it's not scalable to have a mastermind eventually that, is 150, 200 people. It's not really effective. So, Trav and I put our brains together and we're building out this, and we'd love to hear your feedback on it. And as obviously some of the originals, the OGs of business broker and world here. So, Trav, back to you, bro.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, I think one of the biggest things that we were trying to do is create a winning environment, and really one of our core values is, we want to have collaboration over competition, and really trying to redefine the space of what business brokering is not that. It's really not. And so, we know that as a community and as a team, you can operate much better. As you can see, I think the proof is in the pudding, with JJ, Ryan and Corey, as they kind of filled out roles. And I think all teams will be a little bit different, and you'll have your own kind of oversight on that. But this is going to give a good landing field for you guys to take and kind of have an understanding of what we see teams being, and also the benefit to having a team, and then also being on a team and being able to, as we have brokers come in, to be able to really set them in a team, a structure, like right off the gate, right? Because they're going to see the benefit of it. And for you guys to be able to compensate your time, to be able to help them also and start building and formulating a team. So basically going through this, I really wanted to start creating a manual that we would share with you. This is more of our internal manual. But being where you guys are at in the business, and you guys consistently are showing up to this, that I want to be able to kind of walk you through what we have on this, and businesses change all the time. But this is kind of where we feel for the last few months that it's heading. So we want to talk about kind of the benefits of joining a team that we're going to be able to push out to brokers that do come on. Really, we've been building our legacy platform, a CRM out, which it's there. I'm testing it right now with JJ, Ryan, and Corey's team to be able to get the NDA process up. It's working. Everything's working on my end on that. So we're about ready to launch it and allow them to do that, which comes up with so many other things, buyer pipelines, also the NDA SIM process, follow-ups. And being able to actually just utilize the space. And when you have teams, then we're able to actually use it to market your area and your local area, which is really the ultimate goal, is that we want to create teams in a geographic area is the goal. Now that could be a statewide, that could be multi-city, that could just be regional to start. You could be regional where we're at, or, depending on what people are at. I had a call yesterday with a guy from Washington, not a real estate agent. He's got to be a real estate agent, but was open to the idea of joining a team and being able to help and say, listen, I can call people and I can get that stuff going, or I can do this. What positions can I do? But because then we can kind of figure things out if he's wanting to work in other states. So it's kind of one of those things that it's a unique opportunity in business broking compared to, real estate, where you've got to be kind of honed in on that area because you can work in multiple areas. So we're going to get access to the legacy platform if you're part of the team. If not, it will cost, because we will have to set that up. On a team model, you're going to be able to just plug people in, and it's kind of, rinse and repeat with that. So pretty awesome with that. The structure that we want is to be able to have a appointable team lead or leads that are on the team. And really what we want to do is we want to have basically weekly calls, masterminds of your own, but built in the team to talk specifically about what we are doing in the area, opposed to on a broad scale is kind of what we do, right? On that, we're talking it used to be less of a general and more of a specific within the area. And that's going to be just reviewing deals that the team has going on. So being very specific to that. You guys can also do, live role playing, prospecting strategies, accountability check-in. So the goal is to have some sort of accountability with you guys from the top down to be able to help you guys also in this. You're not going to be alone. Me and Corey will be on these calls as much as we can too. But the goal would be you start running this yourself. Local marketing support. So there will be overrides with each one of the teams, and we'll get into that. But the goal of that is to be able to take those overrides and create a structure that you are going to be able to utilize that to do local marketing, which is over those overrides. What we ask for the team leads who's running it, 25% of all those of the profit that comes in from the overrides goes straight into marketing to help grow your team, to get more leads. And we're going to be working on structures to be able to do that and ways to do that. Obviously, mentorship and deal support as you go through is kind of one of the staples of it. That's as we get new people. In this, it's going to be very important for us to have people that are there that are going to be able to help them throughout that process. Accountability, is going to be one of the big things. And, obviously pipeline and listing kind of momentum. Talking to Sherry yesterday, and, you're going to come across these deals as you start getting into the business more, that you're going to go, I don't really have time for that one. But that's where your team can come in and say, hey, listen, go there. I don't know what if this is going to sell. I don't know, but they're wanting to sell. Let's see if we can work some buyers. Let's see what we can happen. But as a team leader, or, as you guys move up in the ranks of the team, you may not going to want to take those, but you can still get a cut of them, right? So we're allowing facilitation of deals and growth through maybe not the best deals, which is typically how it happens, right? I remember starting in real estate, I was doing land deals on whatever I could get, right? Because I wanted to gain experience. So kind of that. So the team model approach really is, there's two things that there really are. There's not going to be, you either join a team or you are basically a solo independent broker. And on the team option, basically you're going to have our broker agreement, right? That we're going to have, but you're also going to have, your team agreement that we're going to come up for you guys, because we want you guys to be able to say, hey, here's what we do. Everyone's going to be a little different. Like Corey's team, they have kind of a pod approach. Your team may be a little different. And typically in most teams, you have kind of a 3 different styles of teams. And so what we want to do is we'll figure that out for you, but really it's going to be a broker agreement, basically what we offer and everything. And then also your commission schedule, which we'll dive into kind of what we're leaning on for you guys. If you guys decide to start a team, and you guys would be all team leaders here. So everybody that I'm talking to right here, these aren't, I'm letting you guys in on kind of this, knowing that you guys would be essentially a team lead or leaders in this. The other thing that we want to point out, because what we found is we have people come across the country. If you're an independent broker and you decide to take that route, we are totally fine with that. Some people are lone wolves, right? But we are going to actually make them sign something that is an independent broker acknowledgement form. And basically the thing of that is we want to get their head wrapped around the idea that, hey, listen, you're going to be on this boat alone. So that can't be a reason that you can be like, well, I didn't have support. You chose that. So what we're trying to do is kind of instill that we're really pushing teams, because we know that that's how people are going to succeed into this. And so we want them to succeed. We don't want people coming here feeling like on an island. And in a virtual, space that we're in, and almost everything now, it's very easy to feel that way. And it's very easy to not have accountability, but also you can see the momentum quickly die. So as far as if they wanted to be an independent broker, we're totally fine with that. And there may be some people that are like, I've been doing this for a long time, just want to go. I don't want to do any of this. I don't want to be a leader. I don't want to mentor. I don't want to do that. I just want to do my thing. And I like the structure that you guys have. We're totally fine with that. So really the compensation and revenue overrides is kind of where we're going to kind of talk about just what is the benefit of leading a team. And then also what we have, the hurdles we have to get over of showing the advantage of it. So the first thing is we already have a mentor kind of in place here. A thing that where if somebody comes on and they've never been a business broker and they've never done a deal before, we're going to require them as they get on a team to be mentored by somebody. That's the first 3 deals. Basically, you get 10%. It's one of those things where you're guiding them through that, right? Typically, that's going to come from the team lead. Now, if you have multiple leaders or you have people in there that want to take on that, that's going to be a beautiful place in our business that you're going to be able to, as a team lead, be like, hey, this person's totally fine to take you on this and guide you through if you have questions. We really want to have that leadership position. And at first, maybe it is the team lead, right? But also there is going to be team overrides. So every transaction is going to have a 5% minimum, and you guys can adjust this, right? So depending on the person as they come in, you could say, hey, listen, every transaction, no matter what, it's 10% of each deal goes to this. So you could do however you guys want it. So 5% of $1 million deal isn't going to be a whole bunch, but it is something that you're going to be, that's the thing, is we're going to be investing 25% of that back into marketing. Okay. So when you do that, that's the sell, is like, hey, we're giving you 5, but we're going to be putting 25% of that back in the market to get you guys leads, to get you more business. So it's really reinvesting in themselves. Okay. Does that make sense? Any questions?
Not yet.
Okay. And our goal is, and the reason that we do the 25%, because that's exactly what Corey and I have said that, hey, no matter what comes in, whatever, 25% of everything goes straight back into marketing, because it's the number one thing. So the goal of us is to start leaning on that with you guys too, whether it's Facebook ads, whether it's anything that we can do, whether it's events that you guys can put on for business owners. We will get to that point, and marketing is going to be something that we are going to heavily invest in for us as a company, but also for our brokers to teach them how to take advantage of local businesses and get in front of those people. Okay. So that's really it. Now, I will say, as the coast, there is a way for us to also do this, which is we have our revenue share is currently just a single person. I bring somebody on, or Ryan brings somebody on. That person gets that revenue share. But what we're going to do is we're going to also institute a co-sponsorship. So this works out very well in a lot of other spaces, and I think it's going to be really big here too. So let's just say Ryan brings somebody on. Well, Ryan is going to get that co-sponsorship, and the guy or the sponsorship of that person, of that rev share. However, if that person decides to go independent, that's all Ryan. But if he decides to say, listen, I want to join a team that Ryan's not on, because I saw a Facebook post from Ryan, put his name in there. Ryan, we're not anywhere, right? We're not close. We're not working anything. He decides to just join a team. That's also beneficial for the team. So they're going to split that revenue share. If they leave, the Ryan will never lose his half. If he decides to leave the team, Ryan gets back full. If he decides to go to another team, it just switches. The goal is to really help invest in this team as much as possible, that we can actually take hold of local markets and be the leader in these Main Street businesses, to be able to help you guys really on a marketing side and as a team structure to see, man, there's so much upside to be a leader, but also be on a team. So, the revenue split is basically what I was saying. It's 50-50 split between the recruiting broker and the team lead. That's basically it. And the exception is basically, the broker who brought him on, if he's not on a team, gets 100%.
Can we go back
no,
up a little bit for a
Yeah.
second, Travis?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
back up the previous section, please, the override
Yes.
splits. So
Yep.
are you saying like, the marketing requirement 20% of the override? So let's take, for example, if we had this all in place when my
Yeah.
car detailing shop closed. So 30% of that commission went to BB plus, and then you're saying 25% then in addition goes to marketing, and then
No.
5% for something else?
No, 25% is of that 5%. So if you're the team lead, right? So if you're the team lead and you're saying, hey, listen, no matter what we're going to say, because you being the team lead, let's just do this. And maybe I just pull a calculator up. Can you guys see my calculator?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So let's just say, let's do an example. Okay. Let's just say a business that was $1 million, right? I think that's $1 million. They put dashes in there. Okay. So let's just say you guys did it. It's 15%. Okay. Of that. Okay. You guys are, so it's 150 grand, right? So let's just say you're going to get, out of that, you're going to get 0.7, right? As the broker, right? Okay. 105,000, right? So what's going to happen is of that, you're going to get 5% is going to be, so, whoops, that's not right. Let me go back. So 105 times 0.05. So you're going to get as a team $5,200 basically out of that deal. Okay. It's not that much, right? It's not that much. But of that 52, you being the team lead, you have to say, I'm putting 25% of this into a marketing budget for my team. You get to take the rest being the team lead, right? You being the team lead and constructing and answering calls and doing all the things you have to do, putting the people in place that you have to. But we're saying that so you can say, cool. So you can, when people come on, you're like, hey, listen, but everything of that 5%, or, if you're a team and you're doing a bunch of marketing, you can bump that up. You can say it's 10% because I'm feeding you leads, right? But for the structure of the team right now, you're going to just say, hey, it's 5%, after, you give the 30% to BizBroker Plus. If they cap, that's good for you, right? Because then you get more. It's 5% of whatever they are taking home. But you do that as a team to be on the team. The advantages is when you have a team structure, like if you get people into this and you start holding them accountable every week, you're doing the calls and they're being able to connect you, they're not going to leave because they're not going to worry about 5% of that. Because especially when you say 25% of everything you give me, I'm putting it right back to marketing. So hopefully it lands right back in your pocket. Right. And so we're recirculating that. So it's kind of like a guarantee for us and to the broker to really keep them engaged and excited about, the more we make, the more the team grows, the more we can put billboards up, the more we can do advertising on radio, whatever it is that you want to come up as a team with, you're able to do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. And I don't want to derail this completely, but did you see that text message I sent you with the little video yesterday on that data source?
You know what? It didn't go through. Like it kept loading.
Okay.
You'll have to resend it to me.
Okay.
Or
I'll do
email
that.
it. Email it to me.
I'll do that.
Because yeah, like, okay, so whatever that was, or as we go into, we've talked about Resquared, right? We talked
This is
about
better than Resquared. Their data, they have actually business owners that are actually looking to sell their business. They know who's doing that search. And I've talked to these people before when I was looking at it for real estate, but so it's just remarkable. The only thing that they don't have that Resquared has, they give you the raw data. Resquared has the whole automation in place, but we can do the automation and we know that they're looking, which gets me super excited.
And so, I mean, I think that you can take those and then you could start reinvesting those. And so a platform like that, the platform, that one, or a combination of both, because you guys have income stuff coming in that you can say, hey, this is for our synergy, right? We're going to go call other businesses, right? We're going to have that data, but this one is for people that want to sell, right? And so now you're building a business. That's how big we have multiple funnels of things coming in, right? And that's the goal of, we want you guys to be like, oh, cool. We want you to be able to take that money and reinvest it. And we're going to go out, partner with people, and we're going to go out and we're going to say, hey, how can we get you guys? Hey, this lead source works. The next step in our journey is to be able to market on Facebook leads and advertising and Instagram and all these things to get business owners to call us. And if we figure out that, we just share that thing with you and you do it in your local area. Does that make sense? So the goal of it is that as we grow these teams, we're really, the thing about it is we have to get small to get big. Does that make sense? So right now we're big and we're like, everyone just come to the mastermind. Totally fine with that. But to be granular and say, Sherry, Melissa, Steve, John, hey guys, what are we working? As a team, here's what we're bringing in. Okay, is different conversations than what we're having. Does that make sense? These are the conversations that Corey, Ryan, and JJ are having every week. Am I right, Corey?
Yeah. Well, there's two components to it that you could really go after it. And this is something I want to be clear is, like, for example, like Sherry, you and Melissa have a team, that's pretty dialed in to selling your businesses, right? Just like JJ and Ryan and myself are pretty like a closed knit group. We have our responsibilities and we just crush listings. However, there's such a opportunity that you could go a second level down, even a third level down, that essentially says, look, we can be in charge of teams. I mean, I'll just give you perspective. If we go out there and we close another office, Realty One office that has 15, 20 brokers, it would be silly for Ryan, I, and JJ, or you, Melissa, or Dave to not say, let me just get on a call with these guys weekly, mentor them, and take 10% on the first 3 commission and drive these things. And it's one of those things where you could definitely then also handpick talent. I'll be very honest with you. It's a business. Handpick the talent of the best to put them on your close subgroup. And then, essentially, it's really, you're already doing it. It's just now let's just get on a scalable level. That's my 2 cents, Trav.
Yeah. And I think, and we've talked about this, we're Corey and all of them they're really working the north side, right? Austin's huge though, right? Austin's huge. So what could happen is, as a team lead, if Corey was a team lead and he's running with these guys, but he could say, well, he has 3 people that are down in Austin that he could say, hey guys, here's how the team structure works. You're going to do this, you're going to do this, and you're going to do this. And they go and make that. Now you're taking as the team lead 5% of everything they bring in, right? The team. So if they were the Austin team, they may have 2, 3, 4 pods, depending on where it is, right? It could be the north side, east side. You could run in, you could run wherever, we have Colleen that's way north of us. We have closer to San Antonio, which is like San Marcos. So you have these big areas that you could run with in different areas. The point is there's so much business out there. It's like so what we're trying to do is cultivate an environment that encourages you guys to work together to go out and get business, opposed to just being kind of, I have to do all of it, right? I have to do lead flow. I have to do synergy flow. I have to do marketing. I have to do buyer flow. I have to do it all, right? And opposed to doing that. So there's so many ways to do this, and it just depends on the level that you want. And you could say, Sherry, hey, I want to do what Corey and them are doing, and I just want to have three to 5 people, right? And I want to manage them and watch them do what they do. However you guys want to plan it, you guys got to figure out what y'all want to do. The structure's there, and that's where me and Corey are there to help you guys do that, and also bring brokers into that you're like, yeah, I want that person to come on. Does that make sense?
So one other thing too to add is, there's something that you could play with too. If it's, 5% in Trav mentioned, you can make that number 10% if you want to. I think that's a more fair trade. But if you partner with brokerages out there and say to the brokerage owner, look, I'm willing to give up 5% if we onboard all of these people that are in your office to there. So you can have your transaction fee, you can have a 5% fee, and then you can help train and you can help bring these people on. But then in addition to that, you are mass setting a net out there of leads. And what'll happen is you're going to get people that come bring the floral shops that are super small. And then there's going to be some bigger ones, 6, 7, 8 million, where it might go from team B up to team A because of the, essentially the experience that's needed. So you can then essentially give them a percentage based off of that too. So again, by owning teams, you could handpick everything. And you could recruit and you could do different things like that. So that's bullet point 1. Bullet point 2 would be, as you get into these brokerages, we're going to be putting together deals to where instead of it being a monthly subscription per user, if they're a brokerage office that brings on 25, 30 people, we'll have one price for all. So it makes it very easy for you to say, all 30 of you join Team Ryan or join Team Dave. And we will host a weekly call for you. We will help train you. And just literally imagine 30 people making 30 phone calls a week. The numbers just won't lie. So a lot of hurdles that we're trying to eliminate for you. But also my favorite part is I love these masterminds, but Travis knows I've got my opinion on it. Like I like execution and I like talking about role playing and figuring out ways to make money. So podcast is not my thing. It's important. I have 4 or 5 podcasts that I follow, but for me, I am not the stage guy. So I love being able to get into Dave. We've already had our side conversations too. A team, get in there. Let's get people in there. Let's put some people in roles together and let's start selling some businesses. That's my 2 cents. So
no, man, I love that. And I think that the team approach, the overrides on this is, listen, it's a 5% minimum, but it's adjustable. So Sherry, if you said, listen, because we're offering this and this and this, the lead source that you're saying, or we have this other thing, or this is what we do, or whatever it is that you guys come up with, that is an increase in value, which will allow people to be like, dude, I'm totally fine with that. I will pay 10, 15% of my deal because you guys are facilitating that. I was part of a real estate company before that the listing agents did nothing besides go to appointments. They didn't call. They didn't do anything. They looked at their calendar every morning and they just went to the appointment because everything was done with them. All they had to do is go close it, hand it off to the person to list it, and then they would basically follow them up once a week. They made 25% of the total commission. So the company took 75% and they took 25%. And everyone loved it because they didn't have to do anything besides go and just meet people. So it's the amount of value that you bring will dictate how much you can actually charge, right? Imagine if your people are just getting appointments nonstop, they'll pay you whatever, right? Because they don't have to do anything, right? The hardest part's done. So I think that's always adjustable. So as you get going, your team can, and we can figure something else out that works. If so, if you guys figure out you guys need something, like, we're here to make teams work. That's the one thing that we found that is going to change the whole industry, is that if we construct this, it's going to make just brokers thrive, and it's going to make our company thrive when you guys thrive. That we go as you go. So let's move on, guys. So team growth guidelines. These guidelines are going to be right now a little lucid, because teams are going to span, because of where we're at as a company and how many people we have on it, and how, I would say, how many different states that we have, but states don't have a bunch of each state doesn't have a bunch of people in it. So they're going to span multiple states, multiple areas. What we are really hoping for that develops eventually is local teams, right? Eventually that would be nice. Like if you start growing, we start growing an area and they want to be like, hey, no, I'm helping. We have a Colorado and California are probably going to merge as maybe a team right now, because it'll be kind of regional in a sense, of the kind of west side. But eventually, if California starts getting, 10 brokers, and they're like, hey, we'll let Colorado do their thing. And hopefully they just like kind of separate eventually, because then we can work on more of a hyper-focused local area way of doing it. But all of us are collaborators too. So feel free, like, if you guys are in Minnesota and somehow you guys come across something that's in Colorado, right? It's going to be easier for them to close it. Call them up, right? Create a referral agreement. So that's truly where we're going right now. Like I said, it's gonna be a little lucid, because teams are going to be where they come up with. And that's more important to us, is to get people into teams right now, so they're not on islands and they can start structuring themselves in a way to do what Corey, JJ, and Ryan are doing, which is like crushing it, right? And so I think one thing that I do want to show you guys in this is I want to show you where they're at right now. I think this is very important to look at some of these deals that they're working here. So, all right, I don't have, it looks like I don't have, I have to click on some of these. But the pizza restaurant, 300,000, 370. Is that right? 370?
Sorry, I was
Right,
muted.
I was on mute. Yeah, it's 370.
Both you guys
Like-
were. I was like, man, maybe I was muted. 370. You got Bahama Bucks. What's that?
Gosh, that one's it was a little over 400.
Okay. Luxury ceramic, which I can't wait to go out there, guys. We have to go do some video there. What is that?
Might be too
2.5.
late, because those things are already going to get off. Those things are getting, that thing's already close, isn't it, Ryan?
Yeah, we had a buyer out there just yesterday. Super happy with it. We're just negotiating price right now, but 2.5 is the asking.
Okay. 2.5. Where are we at with the two business deal?
5.5 with everything. All set. 2 businesses, 2 commercial properties.
Yep. Flower shop.
68,000.
Okay.
That one.
Downtown car wash.
That one's 400. We got a cash offer 2 days ago at 250, which the owner might take. We'll see. We'll see, because it's even on a year to year. So anyway, go
All right.
ahead.
Where we
On
at
the
with
year to year, Ryan?
Yeah, year to year.
Okay. So
Yeah.
for those that don't know what that means, like, and I'll go over this real quick. It means their own landlord is only allowing a 1-year lease. It's insanity that someone's wanting to buy this for $200,000 a 1-year lease, but
Yeah.
that is what it
So
is.
I was
Okay.
like, Demetrius, take it, man. Take it and run.
Run.
Right.
Right.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
T-shirt shop. Where we at with that one?
That one's JJ's. I'm not sure on that one.
I think we're about 400, 300, 350.
It's 400 now, but do you see that title though?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how super easy it is to make it grow.
Mhm.
And then the next one down is another title. I can promise you, if you have a business listing and you top 10 ranked business in their category for the area, it just blasts. So yeah, and then that one's 900,000.
Yeah. So the point I'm trying to make is it works. It works. It does work. And so what we want to make sure that we're doing here is we're being able to help you guys get there. This structure is going to do that. And here's what we're trying to do as team leaders, guys. The team leader training, we will be figuring that part out. But mostly the team leader training right now is that Corey or I will be at your mastermind calls with your team, whatever you want to call them. You can call them whatever you want. Call them mastermind, you can call them whatever. Your goal is that you guys meet at the same time every week. That's how we're going to get people into your organization. Is that when people come on, we're going to have a call and we're going to say, hey, we really suggest you be on a team. Here's the times they meet. And sometimes it may be, hey, I can meet anytime, but sometimes it'll be like, listen, I can only meet this time. All right, let's try with that. See if that works. Go to the mastermind. We'll get you to talk to Sherry. You talk to Dave, you talk to Corey, whoever, and you guys fill out if it's going to make sense, right? The goal is for them to start getting really invested into our culture. So all we ask is that we figure out a time for you guys every week, and then we'll start plugging you guys. If it's just 2 people, meet every week anyways. We'll go over a cadence as we go. So the things that we ask for, submitting rosters, deal updates, and these are commission plans. These are going to be for your guys' team. Not so much, Jay, you have to be like every week we're going to ask you for them. We're not going to do that. It's mostly the things that we want you guys to do. Reinvest in the local marketing. We'll be every step away with that, and attend bi-weekly team leader calls. So that's everybody that's a team leader. Okay. So there's, I do a lot of discipleship, right? There's disciples, you're meeting with people, but then when we get the discipleship leaders together, the conversation is very different because we're dealing with the struggles of being a leader, opposed to the struggles of a deal, right? Or struggles of what's going on in the team. So we'll have bi-weekly meetings that we want you guys to attend because you're going to be able to learn what's working on marketing, because you guys will be in the front of marketing, what's working on team structure, on accountability, on everything that from a leader's perspective, that's going to be. So we really want to invest in the leaders top down. And then, kind of the other thing is, just mentorship and expansion. So as we get going in that, we just ask that if you guys see somebody that's really doing really well, you think that would be like, hey, this person he's crushing it. He wants to do his own thing. He wants to start his own team. The goal is that we do grow that way. That's a good thing. Weekly mastermind calls, like I said, bi-weekly, just kind of explains a little bit what they are. But also there is some oversight to this. Okay. We will have some regional oversight to that. Right now it's going to be me and Corey. We're there to kind of make sure that you guys everything's working. So if something's, wrong, you have us to help you guys. Later on, hopefully it's state, regional, whatever it is, that we have almost like a said broker that's been around to do that, which is our big, hairy, audacious goal, to be able to have those people in place that are company appointed to be able to help everybody out. But team switching, we do have this, like, hey, listen, people are going to be allowed to switch. If they don't feel comfortable working with somebody, they want to be with a different team, we got to let them do it, right? So we have things in place. They'll have to fill out a form. Basically, what the structure would be, hey, if they had some deals that are under contract, those are going to stay with the old team at that commission structure. Anything new will go with the new team. Pretty standard. And the brokers are only going to be able to be on one team. So we're not going to have multiple teams. You can be inside different teams inside that team, but we're not going to have picking pots. I'm like, hey, I'm in California, now I'm in Colorado. It just can't work that way. It will get very hairy.
Hold on, Trav. Hold on. Let's not black and white that yet. You know what I mean? Because what if I'm just playing devil's advocate and we're giving feedback out loud here, right? What if I want to launch a team in Georgia because my sister-in-law is there and she's gonna help run point, but I need to leave the team because I got experience. You know what I mean? So
leadings, I would say goal would be to help facilitate them as a transition. But what I'm saying is production wise, like you can't be in production wise in 2 different places. Why? Because in this is like, hey, if you're going to think of it like betting in baseball, right? Would you rather be able to do more with one team, or really what you're doing is you're hurting one team one way or another? Because if you focused in one area, you would be able to do more in that area. So if
what if you're a person who specializes in plumbing and you
that's
can do it?
different. I mean, I think you're going to have these. I mean, you're talking outliers right now. We don't have anyone specializing in plumbing. We don't have anyone
Ryan
specializing.
does.
What's that?
Ryan does.
I would say, hey, you're the
mean,
closest. I don't know why you said plumbing. You should have said restaurants, and I'd have been like, oh, that makes sense, right? You said plumbing was
I just think it would be good, like, for example, if if Ryan, JJ, and I are like, you know what, we do want to run South Austin,
Right.
right? And but we also run around East Austin, West, and they're different teams because they're so big, right? Type of thing. Or vice versa. If I want to join and team up with Melissa in Minnesota, we run East Minnesota together because of our specialty. I think we should not handcuff that because, man, the ability to make endless income on business brokering transactions, you know what I mean, nationwide,
100%.
huge
I
deal.
think,
Right?
you're probably talking, you're more talking about a leadership position. This is more
Or-
from a broker comes on and goes, hey, I want to be in California, Colorado. Like
No,
it's not,
leadership, yes. Leadership, yeah.
that's different.
Yeah.
You're talking from a leadership position. So if you say, hey, listen, I want to be in a plumber only like group that's all we focus on all over the country, dentist office, whatever it is, right? Totally different. This is to when somebody comes on that they're switching a team. You can't be on multiple teams if you aren't gone through the ranks, right? Now, if you're on a higher level and we're like, there's going to be exceptions to everything, right? There's
Right.
going to be exceptions. But if you're the lower, you wouldn't want to switch because honestly, it would probably hurt you more than anything, right?
Yeah,
It would
for
probably
sure. If
hurt
you're a
you.
producer, different story. Yeah. Leader.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Same
The
page.
leader's
We're on the same
different.
page. Yeah.
Right. And you'll know those people will stand out themselves. We won't have to worry about that. Like we won't have to worry about those people. Be like, hey, listen, what I want to do. And we're probably like, dude, go get it. Right. But the person that comes on is like, hey, I just started, haven't closed anything ever. I want to be part of these 4 teams. Why don't you focus on one, get really good at something, and then be able to do that, right? We would rather them get really good
Sure.
at just closing deals. That's more what that is, not the team, not the like kind of outlier kind of principle, but yeah, but does make sense. Yeah. And we will have that. We will have that. We will have those people. I mean, even the dentist office, she may want to focus on dentist office, but be on a team that does more like other things also. But have like just do this dentist office, and which is totally fine, right? Because you're going to have to be niche based too. Because when things come in, if you have a huge dentist office, would you want to be like on a team and say, oh my gosh, somehow got this lead. It's a $2 million dental office. I don't know what to do. And you call them and you go, hey, you want to partner with me and come to this? Like that's a goal, right? Because I would rather have that person my partner and they'll just be able to answer all these questions. And I know this because I go to a restaurant with Corey and Corey's asking all these dang questions that I have no idea what he's asking of like this POS and this. And I'm like, what? I'm thankful you're there, Corey.
So then we're good to say we can allow specialty teams.
Yeah.
Right. And you could be on multiple leadership teams, but not.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
For sure. This is going to, and this will change, man. This will, like I said, right now it's going to be fluid. It's going to be fluid. The most thing is we're not there yet. When we get there, we'll deal with it. We'll deal with it when it comes. And if it comes there, that's a champagne problem. Like I'm going to be completely fine to figure that out. Right. That'll be great. Because that means we've already closed a bunch of deals and we have a bunch of teams growing. So totally fine with that. And then, we're putting parameters around this. And I know that some of you guys haven't been in this situation. Like I said, you guys are the early adopters of this. So we're also providing leniency to certain things like this. If you've closed, you can't start a team unless you close 3 deals. If you haven't mentored someone before in some capacity of had conversations and we kind of been like, hey, because there'll be people on that want to be mentored and you may bring them on. And you'll be like, yeah, I'll totally mentor you. Totally fine. This is more for as the future, we need to have structure into that not someone can come on and say, hey, I want to start a team up here. If so, they could start a team, but this is when we would pull from the leadership and say, will you help this person start a team up there? But you're not the team, that person can't be the team lead. Does that make sense? Like from what Corey's perspective is that if we get somebody in Arkansas wants to start a team, has never closed a deal. Well, we might have to pull a leader in and say, hey, you want to start a team with this person and lead them up? See if we can get a couple more people over there. That's probably where it's going to have to be in a sense, but we want to have some kind of structure towards some of those. That will make sense. Cool. And that's basically it, guys. You guys got any questions? Tear it apart. Like, I'm totally fine with that. I didn't spend, 2 weeks on this. It's fine. Tear it apart.
I want a copy of it when it's ready for sharing.
Yeah.
What's that?
I want a copy of it when you're ready to share.
I mean, it's ready, guys. I think you guys are here, and I think all of you are, I would say, team leads, because I know that you guys have it in you to be able to lead people, no matter the amount of transactions that you've had, or lack of, or what experience. I think you guys have experience in other ways, and being able to grow the thing, like me and Corey said, like, we're going to be there. So we want to get small to get big. And so the goal would be, we are already in marketing funnels right now to bring more brokers in. What I don't want to do is, I don't want to keep doing what we're doing, in a sense, and saying, hey, listen, come to the mastermind every week, and we're going to talk about a really cool topic, and then we're going to talk to you, have a deal. I wanted to get, hey guys, here's the structure of our team. Put your deals in here. How many, put it like, we'll provide you guys with everything you guys need to hold them accountable, in a sense. And accountability is one of the best tools that we have, because the person that doesn't want to be held accountable, you don't want to have them on your team. That's basically it. Like, you don't, like, why would you? And maybe there's going to be people that, hey, I want to do this part-time. I can hold a part-time person accountable that just wants to do it. What's your goals? What are you looking to do? This is what it takes to get to that goal. And so what I don't want to do is, I don't want to have brokers coming on right now and them being on islands, which I feel like some of them have felt that way. So I want to start getting where they come in, and we're able to say, hey, let's plug you into this network, and you guys start working together and start getting the process going of this, knowing that, it's a work in progress too. But what I will tell you, just by looking at the Biz Buy Sell, it works. When you have teams that meet every week and talk about deals that need to get done and who needs to do what, it works. And so you just have to formulate how you guys want to run your team. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, Trav, last things to finish up before
Yep.
we wrap time. Marketing material too is going to be coming your way to advertise, that you have a team, things like that. So just FYI, and then also materials to deliver to offices if you want to partner with an other office or another Realty One office in North or whatever it is. But again, remember, set expectations. Business brokering, it starts with everybody part-time. Everybody. There is no such thing as a successful transitional full-time broker. It doesn't happen. So it takes 6 months to a year to really get a transaction going. And then once you get one, you start getting a little taste of it, and then maybe you'll get one or two. But don't set any expectations other than that, because that's great for people to make an extra $30,000, $50,000 a year for something that's kind of a nice to have in their tool bag. If down the road they start transitioning and they really start crushing it, get 9, 10 listings. Like, I have a feeling Ryan and specifically even JJ close half these businesses and make $400,000 each. All of a sudden, life changes from a perspective of, man, maybe this is something that I could do full time or something like that. But until then, look, we're looking for teachers, realtors, firefighters, everybody that wants to come in and have a career that's part-time. Obviously, it's more favorable if they have real estate skill sets from being in sales training. But in general, that's that. And then the one other thing too, Travis is, I'm going to volunteer him. He's happy to fly out to anybody and do brokerage trainings and be on
100%.
people. You like that?
Content all day long.
Yep. So, but man, I'm excited about this. Again, I'll probably be hosting the majority of the team calls when it gets down to business transactions and being able to put the roles through. So I think those start coming in the next few weeks. But again, don't be hesitant to start a few teams. And on the hub, you'll see where the teams are at, which I think, Travis, if everybody seen them already, Dave, Melissa, Ryan, have you seen the team section in the
We just
hub?
have it by state. We haven't actually put the team names and stuff like that or anything like that. So it's just by state right now. But that if you look at the groups of what we have on there, you'll see like different. That's how what we'll do is and those are all like updates too. Is like the hub is going to be built into an app. BizBroker Plus is going to have its own app on iOS and Android, so we can continue to grow, because we'll be one of the very few people that actually have that. So that's going to constantly be growing, and it's going to be just able to be on your fingertips, which would be great. So the goal of that is that, like, start thinking of like, hey, how you would want your team structured. But more importantly, none of that matters. What your colors, what your logo, none of it matters. All that mostly matters right now is pick a time that you want to do your weekly calls, and we'll start funneling people in. Don't worry about the logistics of it. Don't worry about how it's going to look. Like, none of that stuff matters. What matters is that we have a time and a place that you guys can meet, and we can talk about growing the team. Colors don't matter right now until you guys get business. Just doesn't. Logos don't matter. Names
I
don't
like the
matter.
colors and logos though. We have a good one.
You guys, it's nice, but you also have 10 deals going on, so I'm okay with it, right? I don't want, like, the worst thing, like, I know real estate agents, I've coached real estate agents, and they're like, hey, I'm starting it. Should I start a Facebook business page? Do you have a business? And they're like, yeah, I'm a real estate agent. That's not a business. Like, you have to have business. And so I was like, so it's one of those things. What is my logo going to look? It doesn't matter right now, guys. Let's figure out a time that makes sense for you, that says, listen, consistently every week I can dedicate to coming in and doing a Zoom call with, and be virtual, have my own mastermind, and we'll start plugging people in for you. And also think about this, like, you're going to make money off of that too. Okay. The goal is you guys make money as running these teams too. Like, we want you guys to be able to eventually be to a point where maybe you don't have to produce as much because your team is, right? And you're making money off of that. So I would just dissect in your brain a little bit about what your team would look like, how you would want to operate it. But more importantly, find a time that you can say, let's just start. I can meet this time every week. We'll start putting that on there, and we'll start pushing that out there when people start coming in and signing up. And we'll say, hey, I think this is going to be good for you. Because we'll start having these conversations with them, and we'll probably point them in the direction we think is going to be the best fit also. Okay. So is that fair? Any questions?
I was gonna say, Trav, I don't even think there are people on the real estate side, and I think Dave and Melissa would know this, that don't produce at all just because they're downlines. Like, I mean,
100%.
I mean, we were talking to, I'm always transparent. People are already looking at our company and figuring out a way to buy a piece of it and get into it, which is cool, and be part of it. But these people they're constantly saying, those who are getting in, and again, this is new to my world because I'm just business brokering, but getting in at the beginning, their downlines are insane. And so for me, it's like, if you have downline plus team, which does not exist in real estate, a team approach like this would be just massive. Anyway, sorry. My last 2 cents. Getting excited.
No, I mean, I think it's, anybody got any more questions, anything like that? And if not, what we'll be doing, we have a couple other things that we'll be rolling out here in the next couple of weeks. One being a way to be able to communicate. We'll be able to communicate through you a little bit easier through a text message, and kind of being able to, if we want to jump on a call, we're working this whole platform thing out to kind of be better for you guys too, to be able to answer some of these questions and things like that. It's going to work. So, but anything about the team structure, anything that you have reservations about, any questions, or I would say more importantly, like, who wants to be on a team? Like, who wants to start one? Who wants to start growing one? The beauty of it is we're going to funnel the people in for you. You don't have to do that, you know? And so if that's something that you guys want to do, I would say reach out to us, reach out to Corey, reach out to me and say, yeah, I want to do this. And we're going to start rocking and rolling with it and start getting you people, but just find that time that you guys want to meet every week. Pick a time, let us know. Okay.
Cool.
Deal.
Sound good?
Yep.
Great.
It's on the flip side.
All right, guys. See you next week.
All right, guys.
Okay.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
So excited about this.
Well, again, I think everything you should very attractively, in the outline of the plan for sure. It's more of, we need to have individual one-on-one calls now with them. And
Yes.
like sign their teams on, like it's,
Yeah.
all, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And that structure too of being like, cool, you're gonna be this, do you have it like, and just like how to start a team, like essentially, like how to start a team guy. Like, so it's like, hey, cool, this is what you're gonna do. Do you have a Zoom account? Perfect. You know, all of everything of like, how's it gonna play out? And then, and so I think that, yeah, I think it's a good introduction to that, like to where we're at. It's a good being like, hey, this is where we're going. So, all it's gonna take is, you know, Riley, Sam, they're gonna get one, and so we just have these calls with them and be like, hey, this is what we're doing, you guys wanna start a team, we're gonna start funneling people in. That's what it is, and then we're like, hey, I'll walk you through what it is. I'll send you over the outline of what you can do, we'll figure out your structure of what you wanna offer, and go from there, you know, and like, you can always change it.
Sure, what are your thoughts on this? I sent this to you in Slack. Let's put all 50 states up there. And wherever we don't have a team that has a structure in place, I will be the team lead. And then my job will be to recruit the top 3. And again, I won't be producing, I will be leading the team also through the trainings, right? It will be it.
That's 50 hours a week, dude.
If all we bring, someone has to put the seed in play.
Oh, dude, 100%.
What's that?
100%. I mean, you're 1000% right. And I mean, dude, I can run those too. Like, you know what I mean? That's what I'm like, we can complete, if we make the structure, like whether it's the pod approach, right? But you're like, hey, listen, because it's really, I mean, think about this. Dallas is a team. We were a team Dallas, but there's also North Dallas. That's a pod. South Dallas, but their whole team, that's the team. They all meet. So then the cool part about that is now you have inter-team competitions. Where it's like, dude, all right, West is crushing it. Cool guys, here's what we're doing. Like you have that growth of being like, dude, let's get after it. Opposed to you have one team, like there's accountability in that. But it's different when you have like multiple like pods in that team. And now they come there and they're like, now they're being like, cool guys, hey, this is how many listings it's gonna get in the month of May. You guys, looks like, you know, Team West Side's is in the league. They got 2 listings last week. Like, you're like, oh gosh, dang it. That's where like, I feel like we're gonna crush it, is we do the team approach, but pods inside that team. And then you literally leverage them against each other to build like collaboration, fun competition. That just makes us grow.
Yeah, everybody's a part of like at the beginning. We like to have Dallas at 4 teams with beating each other. We have awards, right? And everybody's doing things. But for me, like throw up immediately 50 of them on there. We'll put times on there, and as soon as someone joins, then I can reach out directly. You can reach out directly, and then we can do it. But I mean, honestly, like, you know, JJ and Ryan can take off the team. You know what I mean? As far as like, I'll help them on the pod, but like them driving a team car.
Yeah.
Like we don't have anything there yet, but yeah, it would be cool to show a freaking flyer to a, you know, real estate brokerage for business. We have teams every freaking state. And we have a team that we can drive, blah, blah, blah. We introduced the pod approach idea. Like we have to be able to spell this as well. You know what I mean? To these
Dude,